Hello everyone, this is Karen Elaine and I am so excited to show you this very simple, easy flowers on black cardstock, which makes it really dramatic and so iridescent and pretty. They're very simple. Just use some different brushes. I have a triangle brush, a couple of brands I want to show you, and some long sort of liner brushes, and we'll get started. So I put down, I've got masking tape. It's actually duck washi tape, and I love this because it really makes a nice, really sharp border. And I have Japanese watercolors, both gold, silver, also some colored iridescent, and Niji watercolors. They're pearlescent, and they are very beautiful. There's 21 colors in here, and they're subtle. They're not as brilliant as these, so I like to kind of mix them up. Gives a little dimension with the flowers. So I'm going to get started. I have, it's very important to spray your watercolors down just to get the water to mix them up. It takes a little time with the Niji, but they're beautiful. And I'm going to dip my brush, and you can see the colors are pretty creamy already, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I want the brush completely saturated. I've got it pretty saturated there, and I'm going to dip just the tip only, so I need to take some of that off the tip that's in the pearlescent, and I'm going to just dip the tip in gold. Nice, just the tip only, so you can see that's just the tip. So now I've got a nice load here, and I'll just start with one brush, and I've got a little piece of tape that tells me that's the folded edge of the card, because I'm going to be moving it around. So I'll start with nice big flower right here in this spot. And what I'm going to do is just lay it down, kind of press and make a jagged motion. And there's the first petal. And since I'm rotating this, it makes it a little easier. And I could do it without rotating it, but it's kind of fun to have that option. Just makes it easier to control. I'll make one more. So there's my first flower. You can see how it's nice and variegated. And I remember where there's the top of my card. So that's the first flower, and I'll do a second one in a different color. I'll pick up some of this pretty red, or it's actually a rose color. Make sure it's kind of creamy, not too dry. You can see I've got a nice amount of color on that. And then dip just the tip only, and I'll do another flower, sort of maybe up here. And it's okay to go a little off the edge of the card. Actually, that's nice because then it will give those bordered edges will look really nice. And one more. I've got lots of gold on that, but that's okay. It'll still look great. And I'm going to try now a smaller brush, a slightly smaller brush. This one's a different brand. This one's Rosemary & Co., so it has a little softer. It came from England. I ordered it directly from the company, and they have nice customer service, and they have good products. So this one will be a slightly brighter one because I dipped the brush into this brighter iridescent color. And then I'm just going to tip it again, and I'll do a third flower. And this one's going to feel different because the brush is different. And I like the way this one holds water. It seems like I have a little more control, or the flowers look more flower-like actually. So if I were going to choose between one, I think it'd be a tough choice, but I think I would go with this one from Rosemary & Co. So there's that, so you can see the difference between the two flower shapes. Now I've had 3 large flowers, so I'm going to make some small ones, a couple of small ones. Okay, now that I'm done with the flowers, I'm going to use the same brush. Actually, I'm just going to use, I'll use the same brush. Actually, I'm going to use a thinner brush. This is just a Japanese brush. It's a script brush. And I'm going to load that brush with some green to make kind of a sort of some stems. You want to go pretty thin, keep the lines nice and thin and delicate, if possible. And with the same brush, I'm going to make some leaves. And this time I'm going to just, by the way I push it, if I give more pressure, I'll make a thicker line. So I'll just start. Sometimes it's best to practice on another sheet, but I'm just going to be bold and try it here. And I'm going to start by making my leaf down here at the bottom. I'm just going to push and then lift. I'm going to do that on several. Now finally, I'm going to take some silver metallic Japanese watercolors, quite opaque. I'm just going to make some little dots to accent the center of the flowers, just small dots. And they actually, once they dry, they'll be much more intense than they are now, but they're so beautiful when they're dry. And with the contrast of the gold, they'll look really pretty. And if I want to add some more lines or some more accents, this is the time to do it. I can do it with a different type of brush or a smaller brush. You'll just use a little detail brush. And maybe I'll put thinking of putting some blue accent lines or just some marks. So I'm just going to make like little dash marks. I want to go off the edge of the paper so that I'll have that nice border when I take the tape off. Okay. So I think I've done enough. I could keep going and going to cover the whole thing, and I tend to not know when to stop because I'm enjoying it so much. But there it is. I'm going to leave it like that. And I think that's pretty nice. So I need to give it a little time to dry before I peel off the thing, and I'll do that right in a second. Okay, so it's dry enough for me to peel the tape off. And I'm just going to lift it carefully. It's always good to, when you're lifting, you just sort of drag it across, not lifting straight up. But this masking tape, I've not had any tearing yet. Nice and sharp corners or sharp edges. You can actually reuse this tape if you're careful. But in this case, I didn't. All right. And there's my card, finished. And when I'm ready to write a greeting, I just use a nice gel pen on the inside, and I can write whatever I want inside, and also on the envelope. Can make really pretty. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. Bye.